Today I am analyzing 3 companies you've been asking for. We are focusing only on what matters, using our company dashboards to quickly identify the strengths and weaknesses of each business. By the end of this video, you will know which of these deserve deeper research and which ones are a pass. And today's video is sponsored by Forecaster. We'll be using their comprehensive financial data and AI-powered tools throughout this analysis. So let's dive in. First up, AMD, the semiconductor giant that has been crushing it. Look at these past results. 10-year total returns of 9,717%. And that's not a typo. If you invested $1,000 in AMD 10 years ago, you'll be sitting on nearly $100,000 today. That's a perfect past result score of 3.0 and one of the best performances we've ever seen on this channel. But here's where things get really interesting. Looking at financial health, their return on invested capital is only 3.4%. We want to see this above 10%, so that's disappointing for such a high-flying company. However, their net profit margin of 12.1% is solid for the semiconductor industry. And check out share buyback. It shows 113%, so AMD has been diluting shareholders on a massive scale to fund growth and acquisition, so that is not ideal. The growth numbers tell an interesting story. Revenue growth at 16.7%, that is strong. Free cash flow growth calculated over 11 years, because 10 years ago they had negative free cash flow, shows an incredible 69.5%. And earnings per share growth calculated over 6 years, because again they were losing money before that, comes in at 20.9%. Our growth score is 2.7. That is very impressive. Now here's the problem. Valuation. Our DCF analysis with 3 scenarios shows intrinsic values ranging from $106 to $160. With our 30% margin of safety, we get a range of $75 to $112. And current price? Well, $215. That's a current upside of negative 56.9%. You are paying more than double what the company appears to be worth based on conservative growth estimates. So let's go to Forecaster to get a wider picture. If we go to future expectations, we can read that market expectations for AMD over the next 12 to 24 months are for strong but uneven growth driven mainly by AI and data center chips, with additional help from PCs and gaming if those markets stabilize. And if we go to what's happening section, we can read that the company has also been highlighted as a solid competitor against Nvidia in the AI chip market, with analysts predicting potential for substantial gains. But there are also challenges, including reduced holdings by major investors and potential volatility. So AMD has an incredible past performance, solid growth trajectory, it is positioned well in AI, but you are paying a massive premium for all of that optimism. Next up, Moody's, one of the big 3 credit rating agency. This is a fascinating business model. Moody's rates bonds and debt securities and they get paid for it. It's basically an oligopoly with S&P and Fitch. If you want to issue bonds, you need these guys to rate them. Past results show 394.9% over 10 years. Solid, but nothing like AMD. We have 12 super investors owning this company, which is impressive and shows smart money believes in this business model. Now let's look at what makes Moody's special. Return on invested capital of 21.2%. Excellent, showing management knows how to generate returns. But here's the really impressive number. Net profit margin of 30%. That's incredible. For every dollar of revenue, they are keeping 30 cents as profit. This shows the pricing power and competitive advantage of being in this oligopoly. They bought back 14.9% of shares, which is good for long-term investors. Years to pay debt is 3.7, which is a bit high. We prefer it under 2, but manageable for a company with such strong margins. Growth is more modest here. Revenue growth of 7.8%, free cash flow growth of 10.3%, and earnings per share growth of 9.3% give us a growth score of just 1.3. This is a mature business, not a rocket ship. The dividend story is interesting. Only 0.8% yield, but look at the 5-year dividend growth of 22.7%. They have been aggressively growing that dividend with a payout ratio of 26.1%, so it's very sustainable. Dividend score of 2.3 is quite nice. Now, when we look at forecasters' qualitative scorecard, Moody scores an impressive 9 out of 10. Also, if we go to raw data, we can see that the revenue graph shows nice consistent growth through the years, but earnings per share have a very substantial dip in 2016. And there is an important story there. In 2016 and 2017, Moody's, along with S&P, faced major legal consequences for their role in the financial crisis. They had given high ratings to mortgage-backed securities that later collapsed. Moody's agreed to pay approximately $864 million in settlement to the Department of Justice. This was a massive one-time charge that hit earnings hard, but didn't affect revenue since it was a legal expense. The business itself was completely fine. This is visible in this graph where earnings recover strongly right after. But again, we hit the same problem: valuation. Our DCF shows intrinsic values from $230 to $296. With margin of safety, we get $161 to $207. Current price, $489. That's a negative 62% upside, even more expensive than AMD relative to fundamentals. Moody's is a wonderful business with incredible margins and a strong competitive moat, but you are paying luxury prices for it right now. Finally, Yum Brands, and I am sure some of you never actually heard of this company, so let's understand the business first. Let me show you Forecaster's AI agent explanation, which breaks it down very nicely. Yum Brands Incorporated operates some of the most well-known fast food chains in the world. The company owns several famous restaurant brands including KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. So yeah, you definitely know these brands, you just might not have known that all are owned by the same company. This is your classic franchise model. Past results show 208.4% over 10 years, so that's respectable. Only 2 super investors own this stock, giving us an investor score of just 0.5. Smart money isn't exactly rushing into Yum right now. But look at these financial health metrics. Return on invested capital of 38.6%. That's outstanding. This franchise model really works. Net profit margin of 20.3%. It's also excellent. And they bought back 37.1% of shares over time. Fantastic for shareholders. The concerning number? years to pay debt, way above our 2-year threshold. Yum carries a lot of debt to fund their buyback programs and operations. That's a risk. Growth is where Yum struggles. Revenue growth of only 1.4%, so basically flat. Free cash flow growth 7.3% and earnings per share growth 8.5%. That's all below our 10% target. This is a slow growing but mature business. And the dividend provides 1.9% yield with a payout ratio of 50.4%, right at the edge of our 20 to 50% preferred range. But look at the dividend growth of 19.4% over 5 years. They are serious about rewarding shareholders with that cash flow. Valuation, here is where all three companies align. Intrinsic values range from $53 to $83, with margin of safety $37 to $58. Current price $145. That's a negative 67% upside, the most expensive of our three companies today. But there is also one very important aspect of this business we have to understand. Let's go to Forecaster and let's look at the earnings per share growth. It's pretty stable, everything seems to be going nicely. There are some ups and downs, but nothing extreme. But when we look at revenue, we see a massive drop in 2016. And that's why these graphs are so valuable. They help us identify specific time periods worth exploring more deeply to understand what's really happening with the business. So in 2016, Yum spun off its China operations into a separate publicly traded company called Yum China. So we just have to remember that when we are buying Yum, we are not buying the Chinese market. This is a separate company. So there you have it, 3 companies you asked for, and they all tell a similar story. Great businesses trading at premium prices. Does it mean they are bad investments right now? Well, that's for you to decide, but the numbers suggest patience may be wise here. And if you want to start analyzing companies yourself with access to comprehensive financial data, qualitative scorecards, and AI-powered insights, check out Forecaster by using my affiliate link in the description. You can get 10% discount with code BOLD10. If you found this rapid-fire analysis helpful, and if there are specific companies you'd like me to analyze in the future, drop your ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.